Welcome, Abby. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm really, really excited for our students to get to know you on more of a personal level. So I have a few questions for you. The first question that I have is, when did you start pole dancing?
So I started pole dancing at the very end of November of 2018. So I will have been immersed in the pole world for 5 years this November.
Yay, congrats. It's almost your pole anniversary. That's so
Almost,
exciting. I mean,
yeah.
I cannot believe by looking at your technique and how incredible of a dancer that you are, that you've only been doing it for less
Oh,
than 5 years.
thank
That's
you.
amazing.
That means so much to me. Thank you.
That's really, really awesome. So that brings me to my next question, which is, do you have a dance background? If so, tell us more about that.
No, I had nothing. I kind of was like on this search for a hobby because I was not doing anything. So I had done like a little bit of weightlifting. I had done like a couple of yoga classes, maybe like in the year leading up to it to finding pole, but I have no background prior to that.
That is absolutely shocking to me. I also came from no background, so we're killing it.
Yeah. I love that
That's
for us.
awesome. That is really awesome. So you must put a ton of effort into your training. What does your training look like on a weekly basis?
Oh, on a weekly basis, I'm probably with a pole at least 5 times out of the week, depending on how long that session is. I try to at least block out a day to go on the pole, whether it's like for an hour or like 4 hours. So I'm with a pole 5 days out of the week, whether
Yeah.
that be me teaching classes or taking classes or planning for classes. It's 5 days a week.
Okay, so I met you in LA. You're now in Texas. Do you teach
Mhm.
several classes in person and online per week, or do you have a lot of time to train for yourself? How does it look like as far as how much time do you train for you and how much time you train to create for others?
So when I was in California, I was teaching, I think it was somewhere close to like 9 classes a week. Like I was really filling up my workload. But when I moved to Texas, I knew I wanted to make it a priority to limit that. So I had as much time for myself as possible because it's only going to benefit my classes if I keep progressing too. So
Yeah.
right now I teach 2 days a week in person. So I just stack those classes. So it's 2 classes, Wednesdays, 2 classes on Thursdays. And then I teach privates here and there online. Obviously, I teach for Team Basework every few weeks. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so there's at least like 3 days a week that I'm training for myself and planning
That's
for my
awesome.
classes.
I think finding that balance as such a popular and like high in demand instructor, it's so important to find that balance, but it's also so difficult. So I'm sure there are people out there who are going to be listening to this and hopefully get inspired to find that time for yourself. It's so important so that you don't get that burnout where you can't
Yeah.
create and you just feel uninspired. I felt like that for years. I was teaching up to 18 classes a week, and everything I was creating was for other people. I don't think I danced for myself for probably 3 or 4 years. And it just started feeling very robotic. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
step one, step two, step three, choreo's done. Next week, new
Hmm.
choreo. And it just started
Yeah.
losing that passion. So I'm really happy that this soon into your pole journey and teaching journey, you're able to continue that balance or start that balance and hopefully continue it throughout your entire career. So that's fucking awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
good for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
So I'm curious, do you have any like big inspirations in the pole community, or did you have a specific teacher that impacted you a lot in the beginning and pushed you?
Yeah. So both. When I first started pole, I was really into like I wanted to be in the air. I found myself being very awkward and I was like, I'm not sexy. I can't dance. Like I just want to do the cool aerial tricks. But an instructor at the first studio I started at, her name was Ashley, and I'm pretty sure you know her because she had brought you to my attention, and we went out and took a class from you in LA back in the day. But
Yeah,
I don't know her last name,
I know who
but
you're talking about.
okay, so that's Ashley, and she was a choreography instructor, and she just really gave me the permission to be sexy and like wiggle through the awkwardness and kind of shake it off. And she was really encouraging to me to kind of mold me into the more choreo-esque person I am now, which has turned into my first love and pole. So she really allowed that to happen for me. So shout out to Ashley.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah, because
Ashley.
I was not down for it. I was not down for the heels. I was not down for the dancing. I was like, I'm too awkward for that. I can't do it. But she let me do it. And she was like, no, you're hot. You're gonna do it. Shake your ass. And I was like, okay, yes, Captain. And she also like would take requests, which is really cool because to kind of circle into the inspiration, I started seeing people like Olga Koda, and I was like, I want to do Russian exotic, and she would like try to implement those things in the classes for me. So I was super stoked about that she
Awesome.
gave me the opportunity to try things that weren't exactly being offered locally around me. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so she was a big part of me getting into choreography for sure.
I love an instructor who can adapt to their students' needs. And that sounds like that's exactly what she did for you. And
Yeah,
thank you, Ashley. That's
yeah,
freaking awesome. I love her
yeah,
energy. She was always so unapologetically sexy. And I've always been drawn to people like that and can completely relate to everything that you're saying. Because when I started, it was almost like this sense of trying to prove to people that like I could do all of the things, I could do all the crazy hard tricks. I didn't want to just, be at the base of the pole dancing sexy in heels. Like I wanted to prove things to other people. And once I stopped caring about what other people thought about heels and pole and the stigma and all of that, because like keep in mind it was like 14 years ago. Then I just fell in love with heels and I stopped doing the tricks as much. I did a little
yeah,
bit of like heels in tricks together and then started just going towards heels only, which I'm now just obsessed with.
hmm,
But I think it's important to like learn all of the facets, everything that pole has to offer and like dabble in all of it. And I think it's also a part of like finding out what kind of dancer you want to be anyway and seeing which one really sparks your passion. So it's cool that
yeah,
you've like found that for yourself so soon.
yeah, definitely. It's nice to try all the flavors.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I am here for all of them. We can find respect in all of it.
Yeah.
So that being said, if someone has never tried pole dancing before and they came to you and asked you what kind of style you have, how would you explain it to them?
Um, I would describe my style as kind of reclaiming my dominance and feminine energy. I feel like when you think of pole dance, oftentimes people think of the very sexual elements, but it can also be extremely like powerful to be in that sexual element. So I would describe it as dominant and dynamic and leggy. And I asked my boyfriend this today. I was like, how, like, you don't know much about pole, but I make you watch all my videos. So what do you see? And he was like, energetic, fast paced, hard, badass. And I was like, okay, I'll take that.
Oh my God, I love that. That's such an incredible answer. And you nailed it on the head because that is exactly what all of your videos represent to me when I watch you. It just seems like so powerful, so confident, so intentional, so dynamic and explosive and energetic, and all of these things wrapped up into one. And I mean, I told you that your videos are going completely viral on Facebook right now. Every time I post you, people are like, this girl, she's insane.
Aw, that's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, so people can feel that energy through the screen and like also just the way that you're able to create like deep technicality with every single transition is something that you can't look past. It has to be appreciated. So, yeah, that's one of
Thank
my
you.
favorite things about you. So,
That means so much to
bravo,
me. Thank
bravo.
you.
Of course, of course. So tell me, do you have a non-pole topic that you're passionate about?
Well, I dove into this again, same thing. I was like talking to my boyfriend, and I was like, I feel like I should be talking about like climate change and like things like bigger issues, but
Yeah.
to be more direct with my everyday life, something that's really important to me is cultivating a community, which circles into pole and my regular life. So we're a really big family. And I know that can be kind of like a obvious topic, but I am really passionate about keeping my family close and having that together time. Like my love language is quality time. I like
Yeah.
to be with people. I like to create a safe space for people. And everybody else can thrive if there's a safe space for them to be in. So it circles into my
Yeah.
family life. It circles into my friend groups. It circles into pole. I like the inclusivity all around
Yeah.
in my life.
Oh, I love that. Well, human connection is my favorite thing in the entire world, so I can relate.
Yeah.
And finding a sense of community was one of my favorite parts about pole dancing and what has really kept me in this industry for so many years. So that's really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so that leads me to my next topic. Tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Okay, so a fun fact about me is that I have a large family, like I just said. I have five sisters and a brother, but the fun fact is that all of my five older sisters are dancers and ballerinas. And my mom tried to kind of push me in that direction. And I was like, I don't want to dance. I don't want to dance. I don't want to dance. And now, like, fast forward a few years, and I'm making majority of my living off of dancing, and I've completely fallen in love with it. And I just
Oh
think
my
it's really
gosh.
ironic to see like my sisters being ballerinas and teachers, and I was always like, nope, not for me. And then once I like touched the pole, I was like, oh, but this is for me. This is the one.
Have you gotten any of your sisters to dance with you on the pole yet?
No, they've expressed interest and they're like really supportive about it, but I haven't gotten them
Yeah.
on the pole yet. I've tried.
Okay.
It'll
There's
happen
still time.
eventually. Yeah, there's still time.
That's
Definitely.
so interesting. I was not expecting you to say that. Well, I will tell you right now that it took me, I believe, 7 years to get my mom and my sister into one of my pole dancing classes.
Oh,
And
really?
they loved it. They didn't continue, but they loved it. And it took me 7 years of deep persuading for them to finally take the plunge and come and learn from me.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yes, I love it. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
So the last question I have for you, Abby, is where can people find you and train with you other than Team Basework? Do you have your own platform? Do you have your own online classes? Tell the people where they can train with you.
So yes, Team Basework. I do offer online privates, but when I teach in person, it's at Rex in Allen in Texas, and then also Altitude Aerial Fitness in Frisco. I do frequently go back and forth to California. So when I'm there, I normally teach workshops at like Sadie's, Inversion, Platinum, Dom. So you can find me there if
Awesome.
I'm in California and you're in California, or you can find me in Texas if I'm in Texas and you're in Texas.
Yay, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Really excited for people to get to know you a little bit better and, of course, take your classes with Team Basework and hopefully find you in person and online everywhere else.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for having me. I've been loving it.
Awesome. Yay, thank you, Abby. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye bye.
Okay, bye.